Good evening everyone and welcome to the Chigwell Construction Stadium in Dagenham as it's the first Premier League International Cup fixture of the 2024-25 campaign. West Ham of course have got to an advanced stage in the last season of last year's Premier League International Cup fixture. Benfica haven't played in the Premier League International Cup before, but they'll be looking to try and replicate Porto's success, where they won it in 2016 and 2017. 2 campaigns in a row. But here we are at Dagenham for the two sides to meet face to face. West Ham in brilliant form in the league. They'll be looking to try and replicate this into the Premier League International Cup. The only 2 losses they've got have come to professional senior opposition, which is no mean feat. Reading, of course, and Newport. But around that, in the EFL Trophy, 2-0 win against Brighton, 5-1 win against Southampton, backed up by 2 recent 1-0 wins against Norwich and Newcastle. Their attention now turns to Benfica, as it's number 5, Josh Briggs there, but he's wearing the captain's armband. The team sheet given originally was number 6, Caelan Casey. But it looks like Caelan Casey has done a last-minute shirt swap with Josh Briggs, and he'll be the number 5. Still yet to get the team sheet from Benfica, but I'll just run you through the West Ham lineup before we see kick-off. It's the first start for Mason Terry this season as he comes back from a season-long loan at Step 3 side Concord Rangers last season. Looking to be a back line of Sean Tarima, Josh Briggs, Caelan Casey, who has of course been given the captain's armband, and Louis Brown, the 19-year-old, his first set of minutes of under-21s football, with Preston Fearon as well, the 17-year-old, just like Louis Brown. He's making his first start for the under-21 side. Preston Fearon is partnered with Tyrone Akpata in the heart of that midfield, and it looks to be a midfield 3 of Ollie Scarles, Louis Guilherme, who makes his first competitive start for West Ham, albeit with the academy, with Dan Rake, and starting his first time for the Hammers after signing from Worthing in the National League South is Brad Dolligan. So here we are, West Ham in their all-black kit against Benfica in their vintage red and white. It's West Ham kicking off as they play from right to left as they try to spray it down to Skulls on this left-hand side, but it's occupied by the Benfica defender. And it'll be the first goal kick of the game. Just briefly, the substitutes. Lewis Orford, who's started the last few games, had a brilliant game against Norwich a few weeks ago. He's on the bench as number 12, with Finlay Hooper, the substitute goalkeeper. Favour for one meet. Josh Ajala, who's had some brilliant form so far this season after stepping up to the under-21s with Emeka Adieli, Edrias Golambekis and Louis Zhao. One of the older players in the under-21 side, Louis Zhao, he's on the bench. The other Brazilian playing for West Ham this evening is Louis Guilherme. Of course, signed in the summer, came on briefly for West Ham senior side in their game against Celta Vigo, but since then hasn't found himself with any minutes in the Premier League, but he's been given a chance to start today. What can he show Julian Lopetegui, but also Steve Potts and Mark Robson in West Ham's dugout this evening? The Benfica have their first free kick. Play it to the left. That's one back and played to one of the debutants this evening, Brown. What a night it is for him. He has come through the ranks. As Benfica tried to play it long through their number 72, Ocon. Now we've got the Benfica team sheet as they try to play it into the box now. It's pulled across. It's occupied well by West Ham. And it'll be cleared away by Louis Brown. This goes beyond Dolligan. Dolligan, of course, Real inspiration for those in second half of the season, and what a second half he had. 7 goals and 11, but here's a chance for Benfica. Can they open the scoring early on? Still alive, cut back, now whipped in. Well, Mason Terry coming down to claim his first ball of the evening, his first ball of the season, back in West Ham colours after his loan move to non-league. It's a big game to start in, really, against a high-level opposition at this level. Can they show their high-level ability now? It falls to their number 71, Santos, as he whips it in. Scarles will just look around to see his surroundings. It's back to Briggs as he tries the long ball and launches it forward. Well done by Guilherme. Briggs just linking up with Preston Fearon, another player who has been given some responsibility this evening in the opening fixture of their Premier League International Cup campaign. He almost scuffed it there, unable to find a player in black. Akpata tries to stick out his foot to create the pass, but they still get it after that ricochet. Scarles, powerful run forward as he plays it out to that right-hand side. Good work there from Ollie Scarles, but the second pass from Sean Tarima was unable to find Guilherme on that right-hand side. And then Benfica will try and launch it forward themselves. Landing touch from Fearon. Now Akpata. Miles with a good first touch, but unable to see a pass forward. Louis Brown will be and to play it to Caelan Casey. Up to Scarles on the touch as he goes and sprays it out to that right-hand side. Taken down by Tarima. Now Akpata. A powerful central midfielder, just losing out there. Not showing the abilities that West Ham know he can possess. And then Preston Fearon giving away a sloppy foul there. It was the 97, Jose Melro, that went down, and it's going to be the first yellow card awarded of the evening, and it falls to the youngster, the 17-year-old Preston Fearon, signed from Chelsea back in 2021. Finds himself in the book this evening. Early time as well, not even 6 minutes gone, really. Now he'll have to be on thin ice for the rest of the game. Of course, Lewis Orford is on the bench, should he be required. A midfield change. That long ball doesn't trouble West Ham and finds itself all the way back to Mason Terry. Of course, West Ham, a brilliant academy over the years and a successful Premier League 2 campaign, just falling short of top spot to Tottenham Hotspur, but this season they're really kicking on 4 wins out of 4, joint top with Arsenal. And they're both on the same amount of points of 12 and goal difference of 8. Arsenal have scored 12 goals compared to West Ham's 9, which is why the side from North London sit top of the pile. Scarles whips it in with his left. Awkwardly cleared, but it still finds a Benfica body, and here's the tall frame of Souza playing it out to his left-hand side. Guilherme, number 10 shirt, slots in the middle and tries to press the Benfica back line. Now he goes to the goalkeeper. Down by Fearon. Of course, was awarded that yellow card just a minute ago. Here's Akpata. They play it out to this left-hand side, but that's a really poor ball. Louis Brown, disappointing delivery there. He tried to whip it in first time. Just went straight out of play. Be frustrated with that effort. Closest players in Dan Rigg and Brad Dolligan. Closest to Pedro Sousa, the Benfica shot stopper. Try to play it down this right-hand side. Bruce Santos. Skulls. Just keeping it in field for Akpata. And Casey. Kalen Casey, one of the senior players of the side, having to take responsibility of being one of the senior figures in the under-21 side this season. Of course, there was a heavy departure of players who have gone out on loan. Callum Marshall, Patrick Kelly, Michael Forbes. Of course, before the game, there's an article that came out about Sean Moore as well, another player like Kalen Casey who has got some responsibility on his shoulders this season. Looked like it may have just been played out of play there from the West Ham centre half. Which could have led to a corner, but goalkeeper points straight at the Mason Terry's goal. So a goal kick is the outcome, and it's a short goal kick. We see that an awful lot now in football. Rarely do you see a goal kick where it's launched forward, especially at the beginning of the game when both sides try to stick to their principles of playing out from the back. Of course, Benfica are an extremely prestigious club, to put it lightly. They come to a side, as mentioned, that are beaming with confidence in their Academy League. Benfica themselves, 3rd out of 18. They're on 10 points, 1 point off top. Started their season off with a loss, but since then won 3 on the bounce and recently drew their last game 2-2. So they've got some confidence, and so does Scarles to shoot from distance and to test Pedro Sousa for the first time this evening. As we creep into the 11th minute, it looked like West Ham's number 11 could open the scoring there. Here he is again. Does he have the confidence to strike it? We've seen them strike it for the under-21 side of West Ham. I remember him scoring a brilliant free kick last year. It was at home to Stoke back in January. He has an eye for goal with that left foot, and we saw it just there, unable to find the back of the net, but Pedro Sousa was there to palm it away. Lovely link up with Beeren from an angle. Just get a good connection on that Ollie Scarles. Warning signs for Benfica and Pedro Sousa. Of course, West Ham will want to take this competition seriously. They got so close to the final last year. They played PSV at home, were 2-0 up, and then there was 3 late goals for PSV, especially their last 2 in the 88th minute and then in stoppage time. Gutting there for West Ham at Rush Green. As Benfica tried to sting West Ham in the 13th minute. They get a corner. First corner of the game. It'll fall to the away side. Potentially be a short corner here. Instead they launch it into the box towards that back post, and Mason Terry showing his worth as he palms it away at his near post. Both goalkeepers call into action and they pass their assignments respectively. Fairly routine. You have to be alert. No goalkeeper wants to get beaten at their near post, and Mason Terry certainly made sure that wasn't the case. Mate is being fooled there. The number 55, João Fonseca. As they tried to play it forward, almost gifted the ricochet from Louis Brown's clearance. Like it could have rebounded kindly to the Benfica attacker. Their number 97, Jose Melro. Looks like West Ham are setting up with a typical 4-2-3-1 when they played Newcastle. Of course, it's been 8 changes since that Newcastle game where they won it 1-0 in the 77th minute with a Kamari Swire goal. He now has his campaign underway, scoring his first of the season. Benfica with a foul, 1 here, a slight knock. It's their number 60, Nuno Felix, who's down. Referee just making sure everything's okay to carry on. Of course, 8 changes for West Ham since their 1-0 win up at Newcastle. Good to see Amika Adiele back in contention. Of course, he's on the bench. He was forced off in the first half due to injury. Perhaps they're just looking after Amika Adiele, who likes to play down that left-hand side, typically in that wing-back role. Of course, it looks to be a straight-back for this evening, with Tarima and Brown in the full-back positions. Benfica getting forward here with the tall frame of Souza, taking it to the byline, but that's a brilliant slide challenge. A dangerous run from Souza. Tricky feat for a man of such aerial threat. Can he use that threat now? Does it look like he was running out of the box, and now he moves into that 6-yard area towards the far post. Ollie Skulls just occupying him. Benfica's second corner. This one's from the training ground as it's sprayed out towards the outside of the D area. Towards that back post again. More good defending, but it's still alive. Surely just needs to be poked home. West Ham defending very well. But Benfica still have a corner. So it's not over yet for the side from Portugal. Slight confusion going on as the ball just bounced in the box awkwardly for West Ham, but they dealt with it well. Didn't allow Benfica a shot on target. They'll try to get one here. Their third corner now. Commanding header and striked. That goal by Thiago Parente. But always swerving off target. Complete change in defence as well. Sean Tarima, of course, started in centre half against Newcastle. He now finds himself on the right. Ryan Battram isn't present. Luizão, of course, is on the bench with Ezra Meyers absent from the squad as well. So far, they're doing their defensive duties well after that slight Benfica pressure we just saw following that set of corners. Here's Casey. Guilherme working well with the ball in a tight area. Brown. Here's ball in towards Rig, but he's unable to keep it under a spell, and that's lovely footwork there from Santos. He tries to work it down this right-hand side. Brown trying to clear it. Skulls going in to help out his left back and tries to play a smart pass into a congested area, but West Ham come away with it. As you can hear, the clattering up in the gantry. After Rig played a nice pass down the line with the outside of his boot. Deflection saw the ball raise high. Brown. He looks to be playing more of a centre-half position as well, with Tarima going up that right-hand side. Very fluid in their changing of the positions. Here he is, Tarima, going in short to try and win the ball back, and Guilherme. Here is Tarima. There's João Veloso, and now Pedro Sousa, and that goes straight to Skulls. We'll welcome it back. Now Brown. Guilherme with a slight touch of fortune there, as it wasn't the most powerful pass, but it still found a player in black, and here is Fearon. Now Akpata, trying to weave himself away from that congested area of red shirts. West Ham are playing well through the lines here. And the last touch comes off Sousa, so Guilherme take the throw quick. Of course, the Premier League International Cup made for English sides, but also the sides in Europe, to get a taste of what it's like to play different cultures and to get used to playing competitively on a European stage. Certainly helps the youngsters get used to what life could be like as a senior player, as Skulls whips it in at the byline. Fearon will have a go, but it falls straight in front of a Benfica player, and they clear it away straight away. Rig. Skulls with a slight drop of the shoulder, tries to whip it in with his right, but that's easy. The Pedro Sousa coming down low to just claim that. Of course, with Premier League International Cup football, it gives the players that taste of European football, but the manager of Benfica, Verissimo Nelson, already has had a taste of European football as manager. He was made caretaker boss for the Benfica senior side in the 2021-22 season, and that was during the time Benfica played Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool won 6-4 on aggregate in the Champions League quarter-final, so he's seen a fair bit of European football and what it entails. They just try to work it well up beyond the West Ham back line there. And number 77, Gerson Sousa, trying a lofted chip in behind to find his colleague, but instead it falls back to Mason Terry, who's on the ball now. Of course, Terry had a good season for Concord Rangers, albeit they did get relegated from Step 3 division, the Isthmian Premier Division, based in the southeast of England. Occupied by 62 Lacroix, the French centre-half, trying to play it forward, and that's almost a good touch from Sousa to try and break away there, but it was well cleared by Caelan Casey. He plays a smart pass in towards Brown, but the follow-up pass by Fearon just lacking that quality to keep the ball. Of course, this may be the first Premier League International Cup match for these two sides, but it's not the first for their group. Of course, these two sides play in Group B. The other English sides within Group B are Sunderland, Blackburn, Middlesbrough, and the other European sides are Borussia Mönchengladbach, Olympic Lyon and Athletic Bilbao. Referee just blowing his whistle for a foul there from the West Ham player, Louis Brown, just with a clip, I think, in the back of Gerson Souza's leg. Also, the other games that have happened so far, Borussia Mönchengladbach have beaten Sunderland 3-0. Lyon beat Blackburn 2-0, and Sunderland have played another game, and they drew 2-2 with Bilbao. As things stand, the top two are Borussia Mönchengladbach and Lyon, with Bilbao and Sunderland third and fourth. Of course, West Ham and Benfica will be looking to join Mönchengladbach and Lyon at the top of this group. So far, both sides cancelling one another out. Two good stops from both goalkeepers. Mason Terry just palming away that Benfica header at his near post following the Benfica corner. They tried to keep it in. They do, in fact. It's still alive, and he has a strike at it, but Benfica just strike that over Mason Terry's goal. He whacked it into the ground with his right foot fiercely, João Veloso. I think the referee blew his whistle in the end as it had just gone out of play. In fact, look at the replay there. You can see it actually came off Josh Briggs's back, so it could have been a corner, but of course the ball had gone out of play prior to the ball being delivered towards João Veloso. Of course, Ollie Scarles coming the close to goal for West Ham this evening in the 11th minute when he struck it at Pedro Sousa's goal from a left-sided position. He tried firing it into that far corner with a slight bit of dip on it as well, which gave Sousa something to think about, but he did well to come down and palm it away. That's a poor pass from Caelan Casey, and it gives Benfica a chance. They've had their chances, Benfica, at the same time, getting the ball into good positions, but he just snatches at it there. Perhaps he could have taken another touch. But West Ham let off. Beeren too, just slightly naive there to not see the presence of Nuno Felix, who was the number 60, to strike it at Terry's goal. Just allowing Benfica to have these opportunities. Of course, prior to that, it was Caelan Casey that gave the ball away. But this is lovely link-up play in the meantime. There's Guilherme on the ball, running at Lacroix. Tries to pull it across towards Rigg, but it's cleared away. Smart attack there from West Ham down their right side. And it came from Tarima. Slight fortune with the Benfica touch. Dolligan with a lovely touch in towards Guilherme as he charges forward, but it's Leandro Santos to clear it away before Rigg could attack it. There is Rigg. Now Scarles trying to cut in on his right, but instead he just chops and changes his direction. Akpata just freeing up room for Scarles with his body there to prevent the Benfica player from going in on West Ham's number 11. Tarima winning the throw. That's sloppy from West Ham as Tarima throwing it to Briggs to play it back. They just gift away possession there, West Ham. Well, frustrates Steve Potts and Mark Robson in the West Ham bench. It's been slightly sloppy at times, West Ham. We've seen that they've got that quality going forward at times, with Dolligan, Guilherme and Scarles. Sometimes just switch off at the back. Have a throw in now. Guilherme, closest player to Tarima. Dolligan's lurking down that right-hand side. That's ball from West Ham there to just gift away possession again. In a similar position, just to gift away a throw to Benfica. And allow them to just reorganise. Plenty of green space for Benfica to run into. Here is Sousa. A slight drop of the shoulder from Ocon. Felix. Lacroix. West Ham just pushing Benfica back, not giving them an option up the field, so their only option is Pedro Sousa. Just tried to play it down this right-hand side. Trio of West Ham players in Rigg, Dolligan and Skulls lurking, and that's a beautiful touch. Here comes Felix. As they're frustrated, specifically João Veloso, you can just see frustrated following their inability to play the ball into an advanced position. There's Lacroix. And Seika. Now Sousa again. That's a clever ball as he manages to break some lines here from a West Ham perspective. Benfica strikes it, and Mason Terry with another brilliant save. This one certainly trumping the first one. That was down to his near post. His West Ham colleagues just showing their admiration for that denial of a Benfica opportunity, and what a strike that was. Fiercely struck from Nuno Felix's left foot. Just before the half-hour mark, as it's whipped in. Rigg tries to contest with Sousa, but the ball comes off Sousa last, so it'll be another Terry goal kick. So far, one of the players of the match, one of the standouts, has to be Mason Terry in that West Ham goal. That fine save, producing one of the more glamorous moments of the game. Playing it short into Akpata. Has to be careful as he's got a cluster of players in red and white and just in front of him. Rigg, clever feet as he managed to work away from that Benfica pressure. Akpata trying to stay on his feet, which you can admire him for. The referee just having words of Sousa as he intercepted that ball, as it looked like Akpata wanted to play it quickly. Switch out to that right-hand side. Tarima on the overlap. Here's Fearon. The lovely lofted ball towards that byline. Tarima trying to keep it alive. Just got out of play. It's another Benfica goal kick. Feels right now. There are 3 Premier League International Cup games. Fulham currently a goal down to last year's runners-up, but the winners the season before, PSV, they're a goal up in West London. Norwich 1-0 up against Sparta Prague, and Reading a goal up against Ajax. So this game, the only goalless of the 4 being played this evening. It looked like West Ham could have gone a goal down if it wasn't for Mason Terry's spectacular near post save. Lacroix stretching out to the left. Benfica have been good on the ball when getting forward and breaking the lines well. They do so there. It's a poor final ball as it's chased by Gerson Sousa. Lacroix again. Sousa. up against Fearon. Now Guilherme will go in to try and win the ball back, and he does so. Good work there from Louis Guilherme. Tarima. Briggs. Finding Akpata. Albeit he's in a tight bit of room, and Benfica come away with the ball here, and it's another dangerous opportunity, but there's a wasted one again. Mason Terry not required to make a save as it's blasted over the crossbar from João Veloso. He did have an angle to work with, as you could see what he was trying to do, but you just saw his right foot underneath that strike. It was forever rising. West Ham play it quickly. Here's Dolligan. You often see pop up on the right and the left, albeit he's leading the line for West Ham this evening. Try and occupy that left wing position while Skulls is just dropping deep to try and help out his West Ham defenders whilst they're on the ball. Felix. Santos back to Lacroix. Benfica just playing a game of their own here down this right-hand side. West Ham will have to be careful, as of course when you're chasing the ball like this it can tire you down. I know West Ham like to play with the ball, but they're giving Benfica plenty of it so far in the opening 35 minutes. Slightly sloppy pass that Guilherme has made the most of. Now he's working with the ball in a very tight area. Lovely footwork there from Louis Guilherme. I argue it's an ideal game, really, for him to slot into from a West Ham perspective, albeit he hasn't played any first team minutes. Still playing a game against a European opposition with some competitiveness behind it. AC just weaving away that pressure from João Melro. That long ball forward just falls straight back to Lacroix. Nice diagonal out to Souza. Likes to play all across that midfield, it seems. Benfica tries to play the underlap, but Souza trusting his skill alone, taking it past Fearson and Tarima. What a run that is, and once again they strike it, but for the first time they score this evening. Benfica, you could see it coming. They've had a few opportunities that they've squandered, but they certainly didn't do it that time. And West Ham have been on the back foot for the majority of the game. Now go a goal down. And it's the number 60, Nuno Felix, with his second goal of the season. And Benfica's first of the evening. West Ham will hope that will be their last. And it's been all Benfica. Just a correction, it's actually João Veloso, the 68, not the 60. Slight eyesight issues there. But it's João Veloso. But Benfica won't care. He was there at the right place at the right time, firing it into that top corner. Mason Terry can only do so much in that West Ham goal. That's a poor clearance. Can West Ham pull one back? What an opportunity that could have been. Skulls threading it through to Dolligan, but he's just in front of West Ham's number 9 there. But what a answer that would have been for the Irons. They've got some defending to do again. That's so easy, but Benfica, wow! and they double their lead. And it's that man there, he's got himself a brace, João Veloso. 2 goals in a matter of minutes. And just as it looked like West Ham could have got the equaliser, Benfica went up their end of the pitch and made it 2. Too easy. As he took it beyond Josh Briggs. And then Caelan Casey tried to stick out a foot to stop it striking on goal. And then it just rolls into the back of the net. West Ham with an even bigger setback now. A lot to think about in 6.5 minutes time as the half-time break looms. Of course, West Ham have got other players to come off, 2 centre-halves in Aridas Golambekis and Louis Zhao, and they might need some more centre-halves as Benfica look to come forward to try and get a third. Well, they're unable to find a player in the box. After such an impressive start to the season in the league, West Ham do not look like the familiar West Ham we've seen in their 4 Premier League 2 games. Of course, it is a new group of players at points. Compared to last season, you did have a lot of players depart to find first-team minutes, but Sean Moore said that the players that have come up from the under-18s have certainly fitted in well. So there's no denial from Sean Moore's end that these players aren't getting along, and there's a good cohesive unit there for Steve Potts to manage. But they're just not quite getting the best out of each other this evening. Scholes. Both players contesting for the ball, but it goes in the way of Benfica. Sousa spraying one out to this right-hand side. They come away with it through Leandro Santos. Scholes is there to just chest that down and intercept that ball, but his pass is then intercepted by Benfica and they win the ball back really well. Incredibly efficient, and they've even got themselves a foul. Benfica, so a free kick following the number 60 Nuno Felix going down. A yellow card, another yellow card, Brad Dolligan this time, the most recent player to go into the book. He joins Preston Fearon. So within the final 3.5 minutes, Benfica oozing with quality. Testing Mason Terry on a couple of occasions, but since then have found the back of the net twice with 2 lovely goals. Can they get a third? Lofted in, but Caelan Casey with a commanding header. Guilherme with the ball just touching his thigh, allowing it to fall back to Benfica. They're just constantly making runs, giving West Ham something to think about. Nice cutback. Here is Veloso, the 68, who's on a hat-trick now. Sousa, he has a chance to fire one at goal, and Mason Terry with another good save. But it's still alive for Benfica! Wow! Just past that far post, but another fierce strike. This time, Leandro Santos, the more recent of the Benfica players to have a go. but playing it round from left to right with such ease. Sousa there, what dip. But Terry dealt with that strike incredibly well. And it was brilliant defending. What a block that is from Louis Brown to prevent that third, as you'd think if he wasn't to get that deflection, he'd have arrowed into that bottom far corner. Left well by their number 62, Lacroix. And here he is again, playing a low ball. But the offside flag is raised. Benfica are frustrated. West Ham tried to play it quickly, but the referee was in the way. So we're into the final 90 seconds of the first 45. 2 goals by the same player, João Veloso. The first of the brace from Veloso, certainly the more eye-catching. But it was the West Ham defending that just allowed Benfica an easy second, it has to be said. A lot to think about for Steve Potts and his coaching staff. Of course, still got West Ham's top goal scorer, Josh Ajala, to come on off the bench, alongside one of their ever-presents in midfield, Lewis Orford. There's another yellow card. Another West Ham player going into the book for the shirt pull, it looked like, on Lacroix. And it was Ollie Scarles, the third player to go into the referee's book. Frustration shown from West Ham after their poor first half performance. As mentioned, Lewis Orford potentially come on. Josh Ajala also got favour for one meet. The 18-year-old forward only played 5 minutes so far of under 21 action this season, so 2 minutes added on, as Benfica may want to add on to their 2-goal lead going into the half-time break. West Ham will just want to go into that half-time break and have a damage limitation approach, as 3 goals would certainly look like the writing's on the wall already. Benfica just happy to pass it around and switch it. Very effective at playing the ball in the air, finding players from positions from afar. Just like that, they try to work it through their left. Scarles read that one well, and can West Ham try and pull a goal back? That certainly would inject confidence into them. Pata. Casey. 30 seconds remaining of the 2. Briggs out to Brown, has to be careful there. That's a good touch as he takes it away from the Benfica player, but it's just that final ball. It was very well read by Lacroix, and now there's room in behind Brown for Benfica to try and exploit, but he tracks back well. A lovely ball to Veloso, the player on a hat-trick, with plenty of green room in front of him, given the fact that he was in the opposition's penalty area. He's just unable to keep that first touch. And that is the end of the first half. A poor one for West Ham, but Benfica had a brilliant few minutes where they exploited West Ham's defence, especially for the second goal. West Ham with a lot to think about here at the Chigwell Construction Stadium, as their Premier League International Cup campaign has got off to a bad start so far, but there's still 45 minutes to rectify that we'll just go through the goals that have meant it is currently West Ham 0, Benfica 2 at half-time. Good work from Sousa down that left-hand side, but Tarima and Pearson allowing him to just work his way through and find Veloso in the penalty area. From that angle, we've seen them strike it a few times, Benfica players, from a similar angle, but they haven't managed to find the back of the net. But there he did, and now he did again. Firing it low. Too quick for Mason Terry to try and think about that one, as you can see him frustrated at the defenders in front of him. The celebrations there from Benfica, making that way, all that way from Portugal, and they'll look to try and make this trip count, and they're making it count so far. We'll be back in just under 15 minutes time for the start of the second half. A lot for West Ham to do. It ends here at the Chigwell Construction Stadium in the first half. West Ham 0, Benfica 2.
Pretty bubbles in, yeah. They fly so high.
Remember the glory. From the Academy of Football to the champions of Europe, where our players became giants of the game and changed it forever, wearing our famous claret and blue. 60 years on, we wear the pride, we wear the passion, we wear the history, whilst making our own. Wear the greatness.
Right, you lot, today's a big day, because we know West Ham United is all about putting in the hard work, grafting for the bag. Yes, let's have it! And you've worked hard. Early starts, late finishes. Oh, I've seen it. Tireless, selfless graft. We're not just cooking on the pitch. We're cooking off it too. And you do it all on your own, don't you? Well, not anymore. It's not just about the badge on your shirt. It's about what you wear on your sleeve and what that represents. Because this club don't exist without you. You pillars of the community. You champions of industry. You beautiful business owners. Now get out there and show me what you've got!
Our London, real London, nobody stays a stranger. The Bow Bells, our London calling. More than just a place, the Cockney cool heard far and wide. Graft and dedication, together for the ride. Born here, raised or made here, this is home. Our differences unite us, wherever we may roam. Our spirit strong, our pride runs deep. In our London, it's our dreams we keep. Through highs and lows, we rise and shine. Beyond these streets, the Bow Bells chime.
West Ham United legend Jimmy Walker has got himself in a spot of bother.
Hello, Claret Car Insurance, how can we help?
Company motor's broken down. It's match day.
I know just the company for the job.
NWVA. The fastest, most efficient, cost-effective vehicle assistance company in the UK.
Right, Jimmy, let's get into this game, eh?
Nice one, Tom.
NWVA are proud partners of West Ham United.
So welcome back everyone, as we're back underway for West Ham versus Benfica, with a mountain to climb in a way for West Ham after a really dismal first half performance. It's Benfica who blew them away in the space of around 3 minutes time. In the 35th and 38th, it was João Veloso who scored a quick brace to almost seal West Ham's fate. Of course, still got 45 minutes left to play. Will we see how effective their half-time team talk has been? It looks like there's been no changes. So the long ball played forward by West Ham. And only hope that West Ham managed to show more of that dynamism that we're so used to seeing under this Steve Potts side. And they're just able to get a goal and change the complexion of this fixture. So far, Luis Guilherme has had a few decent times on the ball. He's looked good at going forward. West Ham coming forward here. We didn't really see them play much in the opposition half. For at least 20 minutes the first half. But they're starting the second half off promising. Here's Fearon. He's still on the pitch. He was the first to go into the referee's book in that first 45. That's a deep ball played from Brown. And it gave the Benfica shot stopper Sousa plenty of time to just claim that effort. Of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to West Ham's YouTube channel. You can give this stream a like. We'll be back on Friday night at Rush Green with me, the commentator, Ollie Ordis, on Friday night at Rush Green. Back in PL2 action. West Ham enjoying the PL2 more so this season than they've been enjoying the Premier League International Cup so far. If only PL2 form could transpire into the other competitions they've played in, and that would be a perfect season. These different opponents, especially the senior sides in the EFL Trophy, always going to be difficult. A great exposure for senior football. And this is the same. What a ball! Dolligan almost getting his first goal for West Ham. A lovely ball put across the face of goal, and it was Brad Dolligan who was the closest player at tapping that home. Warning signs shown here from West Ham. This is more of the attacking intent we like to see. Really well left there from Dan Rigg, allowing the West Ham wideman to fizz in a low ball. But the opportunity isn't over yet, as it's Ollie Scarles on this near side. Towards that back post, but he'll want to forget that one. Easily dealt with by Benfica. They'll accept that type of delivery all match. Just before then, what a move that was. And although he didn't touch the ball, Dan Riggs certainly had some influence in that move. Bring the footballing intelligence and awareness of who was behind him. Just unfortunate Dolligan couldn't quite get the connection he wanted on that close range tap in. There's Casey. West Ham with a spring in their step as they smell blood following that good opportunity early on. And Ollie Scarles has been fouled there. And it's another yellow card. But this time the first for Benfica, and it's their number 72, Ocon. So West Ham with another set piece. That's too early on in this second half. They take it short. Akpata. No substitutions made by Steve Potts. Typically, he's not one to make too many substitutions throughout the game. Guilherme. Looking bright as he breaks into the Benfica half and sprays out a lovely diagonal switch to Skulls on that left-hand side. Another low ball put in, but less fierce on that. Less fierce that time than the first one. Dan Rigg lurking, but doesn't get a controlling touch, and Benfica find themselves with the ball in their feet. Suso, who had a bright first half, is just underneath that. Another throw. Rigg just jogging, trying to press. Sousa. Lovely first time touch into the middle of the park. Picked up nicely by Gerson Sousa. And here's the brace. Goal scorer João Veloso. Just dropping deep. Oh, brilliant link-up play from Benfica as they try to open up West Ham for a third time, but he's unable to take it past Pearson. Still has the ball at his feet. Tries to pull it back. But good defending in their 6-yard box, West Ham, as they don't allow the opportunity, but Benfica still have one here. Through the number 79. As he tries to wriggle his way through. Sousa on the edge of the D. Benfica's first real bit of pressure in this first half, and it looks dangerous, but that pass certainly doesn't, as it's Nuno Felix who gifts it away. Rigg into Pearson. Now Guilherme. Powerful run as he takes it past two Benfica players, but unable to execute that final ball into Dolligan. Veloso comes away with it. Sousa out to that right-hand side. But one back by West Ham in an advanced position. Cute back heel from Rigg. Akpata trying to provide an option by the touchline, but he plays it back to Skulls. Al Melrose, the number 97 there, just trying to pressurise Brown, but he picks a pass out to Dolligan. Benfica once again win the second ball, and they try to clear it up the field, but Casey's there. Benfica come away with a throw. PSV have made it 2-0 against Fulham. And Ajax have got an equaliser at Reading. One apiece there now, with Norwich, Sparta Prague remaining 1-0 to the Canaries. Casey almost caught off balance, bring it back to Terry. They play a nice couple of passes with one another, Casey and Terry. Benfica just winning it back, and this is a really good opportunity. Can they make it three? Sousa from distance. Golden opportunity. He had so much room around him, the French midfielder, as he side foots it, looking like he's aiming for that left corner. Terry flat-footed in the middle of his goal. He could have picked either side, and you felt it would have gone in if it was on target. More warning signs from Benfica. When West Ham give them an opportunity, could they do so here? Akpata doing well there to just shield off Melroy's pressure. Benfica happily just playing it around their back line. So far, Benfica matching Lyon's result, and they beat Blackburn 2-0. That'll put those two clubs level. They just need one more to reach Mönchengladbach's heights that they did against Sunderland. Of course, West Ham 10 minutes into this second half. They need some fortune. They've got some game changers on the bench. Of course, Josh Ajala, their top goal scorer of the season. Not yet used by Steve Potts in this game so far. Still an exciting player at his disposal. Akpata. Good ball out to Tarimu, who chests it down well. Guilherme with a safety first approach, playing it back to his centre half Briggs. And here's a powerful run from the Brazilian. Lays it off nicely to Skiles, but he's unable to play that follow-up pass to Rigg, but the ball falls back in West Ham territory. Dolligan off the shoulder, making that run down that right channel. Here's the ball in field, here's Fearson. This is lovely play here from the Hammers, and Louis Guilherme getting his first goal for West Ham United, and what a move that was. The Brazilian there to finish it off and poke it home. West Ham pull one back, 2-1. All coming from Dolligan down that right-hand side. An exquisite chipped pass from Rigg in towards Guilherme. And West Ham starting off this second half exactly how they would have wanted. So Benfica pulled a goal back now, or pegged a goal back. And that's the West Ham we want to see. Such efficient, easy on the eye, aesthetic play there. Props to Dan Rigg as he's laid off another good ball to Scholes. Can West Ham do what Benfica did to them and score 2 goals in quick succession? They have a chance here. Dolligan testing the goalkeeper. Guilherme giving him a clap to just praise that effort from Dolligan as he strikes it first time onto his right, aiming for that bottom corner. Brilliant play from West Ham. As Benfica will want to try and reinstate their 2-goal lead. They have an opportunity now as they work it really well in behind. This will be a sucker punch for the Hammers, but brilliant defending from Louis Brown. There at the right place at the right time to deny Jose Melro of Benfica's third. But it was too easy once again, the long ball. The assistant referee's flag was kept down. I think he was onside anyway at the time the ball was played. Really smart defending there from Brown to stay up on his feet, to not go in on the challenge, to win it back under a pressurised situation. Guilherme, West Ham's goal scorer, spraying a beautiful ball out to Skiles. He's oozing with confidence in this second half. All of a sudden you feel like West Ham have a real chance in this game now. Briggs. Guilherme. West Ham just forced back. Harry's ball cut out, but Akpata's there to just tidy things up. Him and Fearson have worked well in this second half so far. Of course, Fearson had a part to play in that West Ham goal. That was poked away brilliantly from Louis Guilherme. West Ham, of course. I hope they see that in future games. Guilherme's ball forward is deflected, and the goalkeeper has to be out of his box to clear that away. Not the most conventional of clearances, as West Ham have a throw in their final third, but it'll do for Pedro Sousa. And that is going to be the end of the action for Sousa, the French central midfielder, making way. And that's 2 substitutions, or 3 even, for West Ham. Off comes Pearson and Caelan Casey. And on comes number 14, Favour Fuonmi. Lewis Orford makes his way onto the pitch, and that's the end of the action for Louis Guilherme. Obviously a disappointing first half, but he goes off with a goal and potentially the route back for West Ham into this game after what looked incredibly unlikely at the end of the first half. Louis Guilherme goes off with his head held high, knowing that he's made an impact on his first competitive match for the Irons. The other player to come on is Eridas Golambekis, the 16-year-old, coming on at this under-21s level. Of course, Lewis Orford onto the action. What a substitution that is. To bring on one of the 3 players who have played the most minutes in this season so far, Lewis Orford. 540 minutes to be exact, and he shares that statistic with Luisao and Ezra Meyers. Now he looks to partner Akpata. Benfica just trying to play it cutely around this left-hand side. The player that's come on is an 84. The substitutes here, you've only got an 82 and an 83. So my guess is as good as yours. But regardless, West Ham will hope he doesn't make a difference on this game. Felix. You go, Felix. There's Nuno Felix again. They're just playing it patiently in the West Ham half. West Ham with more defending to do off the ball. We saw this towards the end of the first half as well, where Benfica are smart on the ball as well, and they're certainly not shy to simply just play it around, especially in the opposition's half. Like we said, they're brilliant with the ball in the air, and that's an example there. Here is the substitute. Number 84, trying to attack West Ham, but unable to make anything come of that. West Ham have won a free kick. Tyrone Akpata, who is injured there, back up on his feet and ready to play. Haven't seen much of Benfica's brace scorer in this second half, João Veloso. West Ham keeping him quiet so far. Long ball play forward. It goes in favour of Benfica. Tarima just looking around. Took up favour one meet, the forward. Who will join the attack with Brad Dolligan. Was favour for one meet. The opposite of the scale is Lewis Orford in minutes played. One meet coming on, having only played 5 minutes so far for West Ham. Can he make a difference today? He's been given the rest of the match to try and do so. Try and make his mark on this West Ham under-21 side. Benfica with a free kick. And some substitutions again for West Ham. That's the end of the action for Ollie Scholes. A good effort in the first half, saved by Pedro Sousa. That could have opened the scoring in the 11th minute. But off he comes for Mika Adieli. And Luizao coming on for Josh Briggs. That is every outfield player at Steve Pott's disposal that has now been used on the bench. So 5 changes made 20 minutes into this second half. Of course, Luis Guilherme's goal has given West Ham a lifeline in this game. They desperately needed that third goal. It's the Brazilian that got it for them. Lovely work around the West Ham box here from Benfica. Nice feint there as they open up room. Elegant play, the Benfica side, as they work it so well into the West Ham box. And the 79 there, Hugo Felix, felt he was fouled up against Eridas Golombekis. You could see there was an arm there. And he did go down very softly, playing for the foul. It's going to be another substitution. Merely be for Benfica now. And that's the 71 coming off. Leandro Santos. He comes on or off for Rafael Luis. So Terry with 2 new centre-halves in front of him in Golombekis and Luizao. Adieli's first touch, just gifting it away to Benfica. Plenty of fresh legs for West Ham. Try and complete the comeback. Final touch of Golombekis. It will be a Benfica corner, the first of the second half. For Benfica, they had a flurry of corners in that first half as well, where they could have opened the scoring. But West Ham under some pressure there. And of course, minutes later, followed it up with a brace from Veloso. Closest player in is their number 91, Thiago Prente. Just put it into a dangerous area. Still a Benfica player who just tries to clip it in, and what a ball that is! Terry, what a save! Palming it away with his left hand and keeping Benfica at bay from a third. Still alive as they find the space well. Defending from West Ham, that doesn't allow the cross to get in, but that almost looked like it could have been a foul committed by Ward-Prowse. Here's Louis Brown. They strike it from distance, they can, and Mason Terry palming it over the crossbar to deny Benfica again. What a game he's had. Just stretching his right shoulder, which is pretty needed, as he's been pretty active in this game. And this is one of the more active saves of the bunch. Palming it over. And once again, not letting Benfica get a third. They want to keep this up. So far been one of the standouts, if not the standout player for West Ham. Putting it in low, and this is a really good opportunity. Mason Terry, how many times do I need to say his name? Keeping West Ham firmly in this game with another point-blank save. Went through a body of players in black hit him on the back of the head and out for a corner. They play it short. West Ham pressurising them on their right-hand side, but they managed to almost work it well. Good defending there from Orford. Once again, they managed to find the channel on the right side of the penalty area. And this time it does come away with a West Ham goal kick, fortunately. But I, for one, am looking forward to seeing these Terry saves at the end of the match. They find room on either side of the penalty area, causing West Ham all sorts of problems. But the one that's dealing with them the best is Mason Terry. Or the goal kick. Adiele, of course, was forced off with an injury up at Newcastle in their 1-0 win. Was replaced by Josh Ajala in the 43rd minute. Early backwards switch there, but it worked out and finds Colin Beckis. McPatter. Louis Zhao is responsible, being the glue in between that back three for West Ham. Adiele put under pressure towards the byline as Benfica will look to try and exploit that left-hand side that West Ham have open, but Adiele manages to get back in quick time. Quick feet to just play it back from Kiko, one of the substitutes, the number 78, playing down this left-hand side. Slightly heavy touch, but given the time to find his man. Of course, if you haven't already, do subscribe to the West Ham YouTube channel. We'll be live at 7 p.m. from Rush Green for West Ham's 5th Premier League 2 game of the season in a London derby against Chelsea. Can they make it 5 wins in 5? They'll hope so, especially against that opposition from West London. Of course, after that, Premier League International Cup action does not stop. On the 2nd of October, they host Athletic Bilbao. And then 2 months later, on the 3rd of December, an 8-week break in Premier League International Cup affairs for West Ham ends with a game against Lyon, followed up by Mönchengladbach a week later. Benfica teasing West Ham around their own box. As here is the goal scorer, the double goal scorer, feeding one through, calls for a penalty from those in Benfica colours, but West Ham tried to carry on. Play resumes. But Benfica still have their hand firmly on this win. As they're enjoying the ball here in the West Ham half. Of course, West Ham do have quality going forward, but so far Benfica are the ones showing the quality they possess and going forward too. Louis Zhao, McPatter. Lambekis. Reba. One me again. There is favoured for one me. Lovely first touch as he opens up room on his left. Cheeky little dummy to then spray it out to that left-hand side. Good work from the substitute. Here he is again. 1-me in a tight area. It was a big ask there to try and weave his way around that cluster of 4 Benfica players, but they come away with it again. Here is Ajala breaking forward. In fact, it's Adieli who got himself in that good position. And now he's won the free kick for his side. As we've just got under 15 minutes to go, can West Ham make it a special free kick following that foul from the number 83, Rafael Louis. Going to be Orford. He's responsible for this free kick. Of course, Rigg is lurking outside the box with the 1-me closer to this near side, but Orford puts the ball into the dangerous area. Benfica deal with that well. And he goes as far as Tarima. Akpata will try and loft a ball in of his own. Benfica come away with it again. Orford now goes into the book after that tactical foul to just prevent that Benfica breakaway. Of course, Lewis Orford has enjoyed this competition in the past. In fact, it was in West Ham's quarter-final game in this competition last season where they were at home to Brighton, found themselves a goal down. But then in extra time, Lewis Orford started the move wonderfully in the middle of the park and was there in the 6-yard box to nod it home and make it 2-1 to West Ham, which saw them go through to the semi-finals. Akpata. Adieli. Akpata, and no room to manoeuvre in. West Ham looked like they almost got away with it, but Adieli judged to have fouled the Benfica player there. Disappointing, as it just cut short any potential West Ham opportunity just then. Lovely skill though from the 79, it has to be said, Hugo Felix. Tries to turn around Adieli, but wins the foul instead, which just breaks down the momentum that West Ham could have built up with that move. Launching it forward. Brown is there. Got on Beckes for the pass. Louise now safely back to Terry. Player of the match for West Ham so far, Mason Terry. Unless one of the attackers can produce something magical in the final 12 minutes here at the Chigwell Construction Stadium. Benfica's opening 2 goals in the first half. So far enough to see off Luis Guilherme's goal early on in the second. Tarima. 1-me. Almost working it through. Here is Akpata, playing more defensive in this second half. And West Ham win a foul. It's Akpata. Player down. Both Benfica and West Ham have a player down following that collision, but it's Tyrone Akpata who looks worse off as he remains on the deck. Launched long by Brown. Mulligan will chase. Of course, he had an excellent opportunity to get West Ham's first. Of course, that was followed up by Guilherme's lovely strike. But then after that, Mulligan again from the near side. West Ham crossed it in. And he struck it first time with his right foot, aiming for that bottom right corner. Would have completed their comeback. 10 minutes to go. Hugo Felix. Raphael Louis. Of course, for Benfica, how the Premier League International Cup works is no European side can face one another in the group stage, just as no English side can face one another in the group stage. And Donegan makes it 2-2. Brad Donegan, the ball lofted in behind that Benfica back line, and there he was to just slot it home. They've completed the comeback. His first goal for West Ham, and it's an important one in this competition. All coming from Lewis Orford, getting in between both of the Benfica centre halves. Lacroix falling to the decking, and 2 seconds later the ball's in the back of the net. 2-2. Lacroix is down here. What a comeback, just as I was giving you context of the Premier League International Cup. West Ham go and unlock a lovely ball in behind. Props to Lewis Orford. What a game changer he could turn out to be. That would really be the time to tell you about the Premier League International Cup. Of course, no European side can face one another in the group stage. No English side can face one another in the group stage. So today's opposition in Benfica, of course, they travel to East London tonight, but Blackburn on the 17th of October with Middlesbrough on the 22nd of November, and then 2 months later they face Sunderland. Of course, then it'll be drawn where you have a quarter-final, a semi-final, and then the final is played at a neutral venue, but if an English side is in the final, then it will be at their ground. Of course, last year Crystal Palace won it. They beat PSV 1-0. That was at Selhurst Park. And then the year before, Crystal Palace PSV was the final. So that too was at Selhurst Park. PSV got the victory that year. Of course, around the grounds, PSV a man down, but 4-2 up at Fulham. That is a brilliant comeback there from PSV. And then, of course, Norwich still 1-0 up against Sparta Prague, with Reading 2-1 up against Ajax. But most importantly, West Ham have pulled it back against Benfica. After a poor first-half performance, they've really taken their chances. And do you know who has been imperative this game? That man there, Mason Terry, keeping West Ham in it. He'll be eyeing up a first-team appearance this season. Of course, played senior football last season, albeit down in Step 3, the 7th tier of English football. He's done a very good job in between the sticks tonight. Can West Ham complete this comeback? What a moment it would be if they could. As for Wunmi, just tries to weave his way through. In doing so, he wins a foul. What an opportunity this could be for West Ham. A good angle and a good distance as well. Typically Ollie Scarles fancies himself with these opportunities. Could it be Lewis Orford this time? Assisted that second goal for West Ham. Perhaps slightly further out than what was once first thought. Orford is the one over this free kick. Benfica with a numerical advantage in that vertical line along the penalty area, but that's well worked almost. You could see the idea, but Akpata didn't quite have the execution to place the ball where he wanted it to go. Tarima. Lovely turn there as Adieli just manages to weave his way through the Benfica midfield. Here he is, Emeka Adieli, able to find a player in black in the box, but it's picked up by Rigg. Here's Adieli. Dollaghan, can he get a brace? Strikes it. Deflection, but falls to West Ham on this near side. Tarima. Pata changing his direction and picking out a lovely ball to Fuonmi. Here is Dollaghan. Can he sort out his footing? So many red shirts around him. It was a tough ask. Now they come away with it, Benfica. West Ham have to be wary here. Louis Brown. A straightforward header to take it away from the Benfica attack. Just under 4 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Of course, West Ham's 2 goals will mean we may see more than a couple of minutes added on. Warford. The ball just sticking to his feet in that tight area. Adieli. Pata. Seen so much of the ball this game. An absolute engine in that midfield. Rizal. Central pass into the West Ham attack. What an opportunity this could be. Firing it wide. As for Fuonmi's eyes lit up. And the opportunity to try and get West Ham's third and complete this comeback. Looked so unlikely after Benfica's second goal. But that now feels like a long time ago. After a much improved second half performance from West Ham. Launched long. No time for short goal kicks anymore for Pedro Sousa. It's full straight back to West Ham. They've got the momentum, but that's short-lived as Benfica come away with it. And the referee even blows his whistle for a foul on West Ham. Benfica have a free kick. A good ball, nice idea. Kicked away. Just sees the ball fly out of the Dagenham and Redbridge Stadium. Here's Golombekis. Just goes beyond the intended target. Too much on it for Dollaghan to try and keep under a spell. Goes over all the Benfica players, and now it's time for another Mason Terry goal kick. You've seen him take them short, typically with the 2 centre-halves to his right and left. You don't blame them for now going further up the field. 90 seconds to go of the 90. West Ham with a third goal in their sights. What a second half performance. Terry launching it long. Benfica win it back. That's not for long though, as Luis Al's there to clear things up. Calls for a foul, but Louis Brown straight back up on his feet, following his collision with João Veloso. Benfica taking it quickly as they want to try and get back in the lead, but West Ham could have a chance to get in the lead themselves. Fuonmi, what a difference he's made as well in the middle of the park as well, just popping up in those central pockets but also out on the flank. Really well worked here. Adieli pulls it back. Lacroix with important defending there, but it's still alive for West Ham by the far corner flag. Adieli, poor pass, just allowing Benfica to intercept it with ease. Unable to find Orford. Now Benfica come forward here. Brown slipping over. It's Benfica launching bodies forward. Trying to get bodies into the box, but they play the short pass into that right channel of the West Ham penalty area. 90 minutes have been played. Stoppage time to be announced any second from now. 4 minutes added on here at the Chigwell Construction Stadium. 4 minutes for 4 goals over the 90. 2 for Benfica in the first half, 2 for West Ham in the second. Benfica enjoying the ball in the early stages of this stoppage time. West Ham will certainly have said they'd take a draw at the half-time whistle. And Terry, you can tell, happy with this draw as well. Happy to take his time, and you don't blame West Ham when you're going 2-0 down into the break. Columbekis. Will play forward in between for Wunmi and Dolligan. They just tried to work it through their midfield, Benfica, but West Ham win it back, and it's that man again, Tyron Akpata. Absolute workhorse for West Ham. Louis Brown, the throw-in taker here. Alford to his right, but he launches it long. Benfica once again just win that second ball, but the defender lets it bounce, and this could be a golden opportunity. So late on. And for Wunmi believes he should have had a penalty if the referee blew his whistle. For a split second, I think he believed that he won the foul. Frustrated for Wunmi there. So we're over the halfway point of this stoppage time. The referee once again, you could see his hand go to the whistle. It's the player of the first half for Benfica, João Veloso. There, just letting it bounce. Something no centre-back wants to do. Diogo Spencer. The player to almost allow for Wunmi a chance to get a third. So we're into the final minute here. Stoppage took a whole minute, so maybe that will be factored in to the stoppage time on stoppage time. Pata trying to head it into the direction of Orford, but it's kept alive as it's lofted in, and once again, one of the players of the match, for me the player of the match, it has to be said, Mason Terry. West Ham wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for him. He gave them a brilliant foundation in the heart of that West Ham goal to allow West Ham an accomplishable 2-0 deficit. Well, that's an awkward header from Golombakis, and Terry frustrated with his centre half there, as he could have undone all of his goalkeeper's work, but he hasn't. And that is the end of the action. The biggest football cliche to sum up that game. A game of two halves for sure at the Chigwell Construction Stadium. 2 goals in the first half scored by João Veloso for Benfica, but it was Louis Guilherme who scored early on in the second half for West Ham to pull one back, and then the comeback was completed, the equaliser secured by Brad Dolligan, who gets his West Ham career underway with his first goal here in Dagenham. We'll just go over the goals and the highlights, but Mason Terry, take a bow as you walk off that pitch. Have your head held high. What a goalkeeper they've got on the cards here, West Ham. Certainly someone who'll be eyeing senior appearances over the next few seasons. But this is what got the game off underway. Not for West Ham fans. Pleasure. But Benfica scoring 2 sharp goals, fierce strikes, one high into the top goal, and one low on the ground. Both beating Mason Terry. 2 very fierce strikes scored from Veloso. The West Ham got their comeback off underway. Rig with an extremely cute ball into Louis Guilherme to just poke it home for West Ham's first, and here's their second. Brad Dolligan getting on the end of a brilliant ball played from Lewis Orford. Opens up his body, opens up his right foot to just strike it beneath Pedro Sousa and to make it 2-2. So of course West Ham and Benfica have matched the result of Sunderland Bilbao. As things stand, it's currently West Ham finishing this evening's game in 5th on 1 point. But we'll be back at 7 p.m. at the Rush Green Stadium, back in PL2 action for West Ham versus Chelsea this Friday. Subscribe and like this YouTube video, and please subscribe to the West Ham YouTube channel. Have a lovely rest of your evening. It ends here. West Ham 2, Benfica 2.